Hey, what's up, Fishbox friends? Me from the future. Happy Mother's Day weekend to all the mothers out there. This video was shot in April, which was Customer Appreciation Month, because Fishbox was started in April in 2015. So I wanted to shed a little light and show a little love to one of the customers that's been really on his hustle, really grinding, and that's Austin's Tea. So this one's a little bit longer. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and enjoy the video. All right, what's up, Fishbox friends? So we're doing something special today. Of course, we do the vlog, and the reason I started the vlog is just to document the journey. But my man Zach here is a part of the Fishbox journey. He has a very interesting story, and I just want him to share it and also share his business idea, because I think what he's doing is awesome, and I think he has a great product. So we'll just jump right into it. So as I mentioned, Zach, welcome to Fishbox. I appreciate it. Do you know how long you've been a Fishbox customer now?
Oh man, how long has it been? Maybe like 6 months, something like that?
Nah, I think it's been a little longer than that. I'll do some research and put it up here so you can know how long he's been a customer, but I think it's been at least a year.
Time goes by so fast.
It does. It definitely does. My story, which a lot of you guys know, started when I was working a 9-to-5, and it just wasn't totally fulfilling to me. And so from what I understand, you were working at a job, had an idea. Tell me about what happened.
I'm actually somewhat new to Philadelphia. Before the pandemic, I lived in China and Korea. So I was working as a teacher. I was traveling a lot, really diving deep into, just seeing what was up over there. And I got really into tea over there, but I knew that there wasn't quite a way to make it work for that to kind of like pursue that interest. So yeah, like after the pandemic, I had to come back to the United States, started working other jobs in logistics, doing international export and stuff. But, I really wanted to dive deeper into what I was really exploring before. So that's when I started importing teas into the United States, some of the ones that are really only available over there and not really brought over here so often, and just seeing if people were interested.
Tell me about your time at your job. You say you work in logistics.
Sure.
What's the feeling in your? Are you enjoying your job? Are you feeling like this is my passion? Or are you kind of feeling like, there's some other passion out there that I want to pursue, and I want to see what's going on?
All day you're thinking about your business idea, what you want to do, the kind of dream you have of where you want to go, but really you're kind of stuck behind a computer, doing remote work, logged into Zoom. And it's kind of like living a double existence, You feel like you're hiding a part of yourself from them, while you have this whole other life that you're trying to pursue. So yeah, recently I quit. I turned in my 2 weeks, and now I'm fully just importing tea.
You're working at this job, and of course it's paying your bills, it's getting you food and water and a roof over your head. You have this idea for this tea. You can't just say, all right, I got this idea, I'm gonna leave. How did you manage both? Were you getting things delivered to your office? Were you getting things delivered to your house? Were you doing research to figure out where you can buy it from? And like, how does all that happen while you're still working at your job?
Yeah. So I was getting stuff delivered to my house. And I was working from home, but you don't always hear them knock. You don't know what day they're gonna come. Maybe some days I'm out of the house, and when you're importing stuff, you're getting these boxes that are very large, and they're filled with, $1,000 worth of tea, or one of a kind clay teaware that
so this ain't no Lipton tea.
It's not. Yeah. So I think the real turning point for me was the day that the post office delivered a box to the wrong address. So not like my neighbor's house to the left or right, but actually like on a whole other street. And that was so stressful. I didn't know if I was ever going to get it back. I didn't know if that was just money sunk. So that was when I really started looking for someone who could just, receive packages. I could just take that stress, that burden off of my back of having to be like vigilant on where stuff was.
And that's when Fishbox came in.
That's Fishbox right there.
So how'd you find this? Because you could have done a Google search or found anything or talked to anybody.
Yeah.
But somehow you landed on some obscure business in South Philadelphia created by some guy with a historically significant name. So how do you remember how you stumbled on us?
I think it was Google, and then I think I found your Instagram, but gosh, yeah, it must have been Google. I think I was typing in like mailboxes in Philadelphia. I'd never used a mailbox before. I'd never had a reason to. It's kind of like a scary thing to know you need something but not know how to get it. And then I saw the name. I think I was in a bowling league at that time called Fish Bowl.
Okay.
So I was like, Fish Bowl, Fishbox, all right. And I think one thing led to another. I checked out what you're up to, liked everything I saw, and gosh, I can't remember if I emailed you or just came down and started talking, but yeah.
Well, either way, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's try some of this tea.
This right here is some Bilochun from Taiwan. So that basically translates to like green snail springtime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just green tea from Taiwan. Excited to share.
I don't think I had that one yet, but I had the matcha, which was amazing.
Cool.
So let's pour it up. Show
Sure.
me what you do, because this isn't, like I said, this ain't no Lipton, man. You don't just dunk it in some water and then let it happen. You got to kind of do something.
Sure.
So walk me through this.
So I'm doing Chinese Gong Fu style, which Gong Fu is the same word as like Kung Fu, like martial arts, but it doesn't mean like we're gonna beat up the tea. It basically means like brewing your tea with care and attention, and with the idea that like there's good and there's bad ways to do things, so we're going to do everything we can to make it good. So normally you kind of rinse the leaves, but because it's green tea, I'm just going to brew it straight up for you.
Okay.
So in this way, instead of brewing it 4 minutes and letting it sit in there, what we instead do is a massive amount of leaves, and we let it steep for only 10 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
And then we pour.
Why only 10 to 20 seconds versus, because I would have thought let it sit for 10 minutes and get all the flavor out. Like,
so the idea is like tea is like a full sensory experience. So you want to pay attention to not only how it smells, how it tastes, how your body feels, but you want to pay attention to how that changes over time. So the way this tastes the first time is going to be different than the second time and the third time. So as we sit, we chat, we just kind of pay attention. One of the things I like to do to get in that mindset is just smell. You can see kind of like a really vegetable-y, kind of almost zucchini-like. Yep. Cool.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it would have just been no flavor. No.
Yeah,
you can definitely feel it really quickly, even just for those 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah. And this is a totally lighter one because it is so short, but it's still like you still get that kind of flavor in your mouth. I think the idea with this is like, I guess with any of them is like,
a little peppery.
Yeah,
in there.
Yeah.
What's going? Is that all from that?
That's all from that tea.
Leaf?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, good tea is all about what's in the leaf itself. What can they do with just the leaf? So we're not blending it with peppermint or maybe some leaves from India and some other leaves from China. It's like, no, what did they grow in this one micro region, this one farmer's lot? And what, how did they make that work?
Okay, now I can see now where this is some special tea. How do you get in contact with the guy or the girl that makes this stuff? How do you negotiate prices? Do you go online? Do you have to fly out there to like, how does that whole process work if you're looking to do business like that?
Sure. So from living over there, I've made a ton of contacts already. It's hard for me to be everywhere at once, if that makes sense. There's new tea not just every year, but every season. This is the winter pluck. You get a new pluck that tastes different multiple times throughout the year.
Okay.
So like, for me, what I want to find is really exciting ones. So there are farmers who I'm in direct contact with. They'll send me stuff. I'll say, hey, what do you have right now? There's other times where I have friends overseas, friends in Taiwan, friends in southern China, and they send me stuff and they say, hey, I just tasted this really amazing whatever. I think you'd like it. Yeah. I give it a shot. I say, oh yeah, let's pick some of that up. And I just work with them. I send them the money. They get it, and it's those instances, that's like a one-time, purchase from a farmer. So I tend not to make, the full relationship there. Oftentimes, so like, for example, this one is a tea that's been aged for 30 years. So that's like one that it's like a one-time purchase.
Special.
And, and you work with a collector to get that kind of stuff.
So these are local farmers. So like these aren't just like big corporations out there.
No,
these
definitely
are people
not.
that have their very small farm that grow it to certain standards. So you're not just buying amazing tea, but you're helping somebody out there.
Sure. You go to Walmart and you buy strawberries, you get a different strawberry experience than you go to a farm stand on the side of the road. And it's the same way with tea. It's the exact same way.
I remember like yesterday, and this was about 5 or 6 years ago, not just my last 2 weeks, but my last day at my job, knowing that I'm getting ready to pursue my passion into jump out into this entrepreneurship world and take my best chance, give it the old college try. Walk me through maybe how you felt either like those last 2 weeks or that last day. What was that feeling like leading up to the point where you're like, all right, this is happening, I'm going to do my own thing and I think I'm ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's scary, and I was actually like actively working up until the very final day, so it allowed me to kind of chase away those fears and those anxieties, because I was still logged into those Zoom meetings, still making PowerPoints, whatever. But yeah, once you hit that first day off, it's like, oh, this is a do or die situation. Like I'm like, the ball is in my hands, I'm on the court and it will either work out or it won't.
What made you decide now is the time?
Yeah, so I'm really thankful for all of the restaurants and coffee shops that I work with who kind of see what I'm doing and are interested in it. And they are really, really the how would I put this? The lifeblood of this project. So it was a combination of a really good sales week for e-commerce, doing hand-to-hand selling in Philadelphia, but also a couple of the coffee shops came to me and said, hey, we're going to be expanding. We're going to be adding 2 or 3 more locations. And that's basically 2 or 3 more customers wholesale. I think I also got 2 other wholesale connections that week as well, 2 other cafes that I started working with. And that was the point where I really realized that if I have more time to work on this, I can actually turn it into something that will pay the rent. But I need more than just 2 hours a day.
How do you come up with these names, by the way?
Sure. So that one right there is actually a direct translation of the Chinese name. Right now we're drinking Winter in New Taipei.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I try to have the names be just somewhat related. What I found is when you throw the actual Chinese or Japanese words at people, they kind of just sound like syllables because people don't know what the individual ones mean.
Yeah.
So for me, I try to just kind of help people out with a opening title that kind of gets into the mindset, and then a paragraph really explaining the context, why this tea comes from a certain region, why it's important that it does. More information about it than you'd get at a tea bag or a grocery store or most other places.
Let the Fishbox customers know and everybody out there, can they go to your website and buy this stuff?
Sure.
What's the website name? Are all the flavors on there? All the teas? How often are you updating it?
Yeah, austinstea.com. On Instagram, we're Austin's Tea Company. And all the teas are up there. They kind of go in and out. I tend to import in kind of limited quantities, so when it sells through, then it's gone, but we try to replace it pretty quickly with other new things that are really exciting. And then, stuff comes in all the time. We just got 7 new pieces of teaware up this week, so...
Yeah. Oh, so you get stuff like this too, like the glasses and...
Definitely, all that stuff, yeah.
Okay. Tell us about moving forward. What's the goal? You want to be in more coffee shops, more tea shops?
We got really exciting news that we're going to be starting up at Pretzel Park. So for me, getting new coffee shops or tea shops who want to do a wholesale partnership with me is really exciting. But I'm most excited about finally having the chance to just get out there with a table and talk to people about tea. Because this whole thing so far has been a e-commerce. It's very distant from the people who I'm trying to share with. So this will be a brand new start. So starting May 6th, Pretzel Park Farmers Market.
What do you say to somebody that's like, let me throw a little sugar in there, or a little cream? Is that something that's frowned upon with something like this?
Honestly, do what makes you feel comfortable. There's a lot of people who will say you can only drink tea a certain way. All other ways aren't valid. I think that's totally not true, and I think any way you want to drink tea, there is a authentic historical precedent for people drinking like that. So like in the Tibetan mountains, they do drink their black tea and their pu'er tea with milk. So it's like that's actually has a historical precedent in China. Oh, you asked me earlier how I got my start, and I was talking about steep and grind, but I would like to finish that story and give a shout out to the person who gave me a start. So one of the customers I was talking to back when this was still a pipe dream, what I was saying like, yeah, man, I just registered an LLC. I'm doing this business. We just bought our first teas. And he was like, oh, really? Well, I'm a manager at Izakaya by Yanaga in Fishtown. And he's like, send me some teas, I'd love to bring them over. And they were the first people who, started like a wholesale relationship with me. And they're still buying to this day. Yeah. So, Mike, if you're watching, you're the guy. Like, I'll be real, good tea costs more than grocery store tea. Yeah. Or the kind of like mega farm tea that's imported and sitting in warehouses, that a lot of people order from. Good tea is more expensive than that. So for people to look at prices and be like, well, why would I buy from Austin's when I can, it's a totally valid question. But when you show them in person the difference of like what tea is and what tea can be and what tea should be, then people are like, oh, we kind of get what's going on here. For people who are watching and are kind of confused by the tea idea, I think of it as like the transition from second wave coffee to third wave coffee, going from like from like Starbucks to a place like Ultimo. It's that difference, but people have to try it and experience it for themselves.
I think this is a good place to wrap it up. Zach, I want to say thank you again for one, coming on the show and just sharing your story. I think it's an amazing one, but from the bottom of my heart, for choosing Fishbox. You could have used any place, anywhere, but you gave us a shot. It means a lot. You've been so awesome. My favorite thing about coming here is honestly just talking to you and coming in and you ask how things are going, and it doesn't feel like anywhere else, It feels like coming to hang out with you for that, 10 minutes of the day. Exactly. It's great. It's great. I appreciate it. Yeah. I appreciate it. So Fishbox friends, appreciate y'all checking it out. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all buy some tea. Check out the description. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace. Take care.